Welcome back to Breaking Chains and Building Dreams, the Brown the Strong Way. I am your host, JC. Before we dive in, just a quick disclaimer names, places have been changed to protect identities and people. The experiences I share are real and raw, aimed at inspiring and guiding others. So let's get started. Picture this: you're just out of prison, pushed back into the world fast, that's been moving without you. You're trying to make ends meet to find pretty much where you stand in society. But society's ready to chew you up and spit you out. That was me right after 9/11. After being released from being in prison in Mexico, federal and state, transferred through Texas, all the way up to Illinois. Survival wasn't just a game, it was the only option I had. But let me tell you how quickly survival turns into something darker when you don't have a purpose, when you're just existing without direction. Coming home in 2001 was supposed to be like a fresh start for me. But I was out without a clear path, and I slipped into my old habits really quick. Coming home, my first thing for me always was finding somewhere to live. And that meant having to do whatever I had to do. And sometimes that led me into getting into relationships or friendships that really didn't benefit me. It would actually affect me in a bad way. When I came home in 2011, your friends only let you stay so long at their place. El muerto y el arrimado a los 3 días huele. You start to stink after a couple of days, and it was hard for me every time I got out. So when I came home in 2001, I met somebody right away at a party that we were at that night, and I moved in. I moved in. I was in love. she wasn't really my type. She liked to be out a lot and drink. So she did her thing, I did mine. And it's funny because I have this thing that I've worked for women bosses most of my life. It's pretty funny. I just been around it. Even growing up as an almanza in my family, I'm surrounded by women. I come from an all women family. I think I have like 12 girl cousins, and all my aunts on both sides of my family are there's a lot of women. So when I moved in with this girl that I had just met at a party, I found out that her sister was big time. And what I mean by big time, a lot of people try to say, oh, I worked for the cartel, but they're getting caught like with an 8 ball or half an ounce. No. When I'm saying she was a boss, I mean she was moving a lot of weight. That, kilos of cocaine, a lot of money. I found myself working for a female boss and dating her sister. On the surface, it seemed like I was making it, like I had somewhere to live, I was getting by, I was making money, but it was more than that. My boss was like I said, she wasn't no ordinary employer. She moved a lot of weight, and by weight I mean serious kilos. I was just, for me and her, every day we woke up, it was like another day in the office. You know, I was riding with her every day. I was doing deliveries, picking up. I had to do what I had to do to keep her safe, and she made me fall in love with the lifestyle again because I pretty much came home and I wanted nothing to do with it. You know, I had got my CDL. I was really just wanting to change. I really just didn't know how. But being around her every day, being around that money, it made me fall in love with the lifestyle again. The designer clothes, the flashy sunglasses, the diamonds, you know, driving her truck. I felt invincible, incredible, like I was on top of the world. And just, you know, fresh out from prison, everybody was kind of like hating on me. You know, my boys were secretly hating on me because I pretty much just stepped in and took over. Took over the house, took over the plug. You know, and later on she helped me a lot to get ahead and move, you know, stuff that I would have never been able to move without her in my life. Um, like I said, I felt like I was on top of the world, but every high has its price, right? there's a saying, when things seem to be good, it's just too good to be true, right? They probably are. And that was my life. One day, I went to go pick up my boss. She told me to wait downstairs, and she came down and she was wearing lingerie and heels. I was, not gonna lie, a little scared, and from that day on, things were a little bit different. I started messing around with her, and I was deep in the game, surrounded by a lot of dangerous people. Uh, you know, it's not a game when you're deep in the game and there's this much money involved and you're messing with the top people. You know, it's a very dangerous game. And I'm not gonna lie, like my, I guess you could say, my not having morals, being who I was, you know, I took advantage of the moment, and in all reality, I disrespected myself. I disrespected the girl that I was dating, and I disrespected my boss, even though she's the one that initiated. It was, in my head, it was like a power move, and I knew it. Now, things were different. When you're in too deep, paranoia becomes a constant companion when you grow up on the streets like this. And my boss wasn't just a dealer. She was, you know, she had some pretty ruthless people around her, and I didn't want to feel like she thought I might be a threat. So I started making plans, and I started making arrangements for me to move away. Um, today, to this day, I don't know, but I kind of feel that she put a hit on me. I I was at a Shell gas station. It's on Western and Roosevelt, I want to say. It's right in the corner. It's right by the juvenile center. And I remember pumping gas, like getting out, going to pay, coming back to my car, and just, I was pumping gas, you know, and in Chicago, a lot of the hits that are put on you, when people want to kill you and stuff like that, they find you by your car, by what you're driving. That's how they locate you, you know. So I'm pumping gas, and I'm watching my back. Like I said, when you grow up on the street, like paranoia is just as your companion. You're constantly looking over your shoulder. And I spotted this car that kind of was slowing down to my left. And I remember just looking through a glance of my eye and seeing the guy in the back seat looking at me with big eyes. But I saw death in his eyes. I really saw it. I mean, in that moment, I felt like terror. I'm not gonna lie. I kept my eye on that car. Didn't take it off. He got out the back seat as the car stood there running. And as he was walking towards me, he put his hands towards his waist, just sliding it down his stomach. I already knew what time it was. I remember as he was reaching me, just running to my left side around the corner and getting down and running in to the gas station, little place where you pay. And a lot of people would make that mistake and just run in there and stay in there and think they were going to be safe. But, in Chicago, it's a tough city. It's a gangster city. A lot of people get killed inside of restaurants. It's the wild, wild west. I ran right through one door out the other, and I ran across Western. Right at the time that I was running, there was a public bus going down the street. And I ran with it so he couldn't get shots at me, because they be shooting. They're out in the air. This is why a lot of people get hit. They're not involved. They're trying to kill you. So as I was running, taking cover from car to car, as I started going down Roosevelt, I started zigzagging in between the cars because this guy was chasing me. He wouldn't stop. That's how I knew it was a hit. That's how I knew that they wanted to kill me. Because I ran for blocks and this guy was not stopping. There was a point where I was starting to get tired and I was about to just give up. I'm not gonna lie. I was just gonna be like, hey, if you're gonna kill me, because I'm too tired to run already. Moments like that have shaped my whole life. Moments where I've seen death, moments where I've ran from death, moments where I've cheated death. It's what's helped me really realize today what God has been doing in my life. I mean, my guardian angel should probably have a medal, an Emmy. Living that life, you're always one step away from disaster. The gang life, the hustle, it's a toxic cycle. I lost jobs, relationships, almost my life. I lost the count over 50 times probably. But that day at the gas station, I realized something had to change. I couldn't keep going down that path. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about finding a purpose, a reason to live behind the next high, whether it was making money or dating or dealing, whatever it was, or the next deal. I ended up getting away that day. But there was so many times that I almost lost my life, from being tied up to being robbed to being set up. to almost being murdered countless times. It's what I explain to people, that for my whole life I've had, my flight and fight mode on, and I just learned how to turn it off. But I still have, a lot of triggers and work that I need to do on myself. But I am very happy of the transformation that God has done in my heart and in my life. It helps me realize that I wasn't that lost kid who I used to think I was. And I think today I'm a new person. I left that life behind. I dedicate myself to improving myself every day and helping men and women break free from their past through Sanctuary Recovery Center. We're really just diving into helping others build healthy habits and just committed to guiding others to a better life. If I could change, anybody could change. Just away from violence and chaos, because that's what once defined me. Like always, guys, if my story resonates with you, please share this episode with others who might need to hear it. And if you're able, consider supporting our mission through our GoFundMe page. Your donations help us continue our work in the prisons and providing hope and resources to those who need it the most. Travel, hotels, programs all require funding, and every bit helps. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in to Breaking Chains and Building Dreams the Wrong to Strong Way. Remember, no matter how dark your past, there's always a chance for redemption and a brighter future. Stay strong, keep pushing forward, and together we can build some dreams. Until next time, God bless you. Keep surviving those streets, keep breaking those chains, building those dreams. Wrong to strong, redemption, transformation, overcoming adversity, inspiration, and life lessons. I love you guys. My name is JC. I am Wrong to Strong.